Howdy, friend. Sam Houston here, hoping you're living in high cotton. And if you're lucky enough to be in Texas, I know you're most of the way there. Now enjoy your daily dose of Texas history and Texas pride.
Well, howdy, friend. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast and your Texas history roundup for this, the first day of February. In 1840, Ruddersville College, a co-educational institution, opened with 63 students near LaGrange. It was named for Martin Reuter, a Methodist missionary from Tennessee, who died in May 1838. In 1873, Reutersville and 3 other colleges joined to form Texas University in Georgetown, which later became Southwestern University in 1875. In 1845, Baylor University, named after Robert E.B. Baylor, was chartered as a co-educational institution. It opened in 1846 at Independence and issued its first degree in 1854. In 1861, President Rufus C. Burleson and the entire faculty of the male department resigned and formed Waco University, as he insisted on an all-male college. In 1886, Baylor University and Waco University were consolidated as Baylor University in Waco. In 1861, the Texas Secession Convention met for a final vote on the Ordinance of Secession, the result being 166 for and 8 against. Among those who opposed secession were Governor Sam Houston and James W. Throckmorton, a delegate from Collin County. Houston was subsequently forced to resign. Despite his opposition to secession, Throckmorton served as a Confederate officer and a brigadier general of state troops in the war between the states and governor of Texas during Reconstruction. Former legislature, Throckmorton served 5 terms in the U.S. Congress in the 1870s and 1880s. In 1933, well, let me go back to that real quick. The Texas Secession Convention. Can't let that pass, I guess. I wonder, do we have the fortitude here in Texas anymore to actually stand up for our state, really it comes down to our rights, or are we just wet noodles that have been pushed over by the federal government? We are content to take whatever the federales and Mordor DC come and tell us how to live our lives and what to do with our lives, or do we still have a little backbone with which we can kind of fight back and say, you know what, we don't need to take dictates from someone 1,500 miles away. We can do that well enough here from the idiots in Austin. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, here at Feed Bandit, we advocate that move and a move towards independence. But, the more I watch, the more things that go on in life, the least hope that I have. But if you're a diehard and you haven't signed up, sign up for our email list and become one of the new 300. That's kind of the theme we have going here on Feed Bandit. The new 300 to push for, whenever we can, independence and secession from Mordor, because it ain't working anymore. And Mordor is going to bring down our beautiful state if we don't do anything about it, and sooner rather than later. There's my rant for February 1st. In 1933, the United States and Mexico signed the Rio Grande Rectification Treaty, which resulted in removal of some curves of the Rio Grande River and established an establishment of floodways, levees, bridges, and a dam. This work on a section of the river east of El Paso helped it in flood control and improved land for agricultural purposes in the floodplain. In 1944, a major facility for German prisoners of war was activated at Camp Barclay, a few miles southwest of Abilene. At its peak in 1945, the camp had 840 prisoners. It was deactivated in April 1945. And finally, in 2003, NASA's Space Shuttle Columbia broke up during re-entry, showering debris over a large swath of East Texas and killing all 7 astronauts on board. Columbia was the first shuttle in NASA's fleet and made its first of 28 voyages to space in April 1981. All right, that, my friend, was your Texas History Roundup for February 1st. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. You take care.
Well, there you have it. If you like our podcast, check us out at feedbandit.com. There you'll find awesome Texas First outdoors gear and apparel. Your purchase helps support the Bandits and keeps this podcast on the air, fighting for you and for Texas. Remember, preserve the tradition, protect the legacy. Until next time.